Hey, what is up, YouTube? Major G. And Mojo has another list out. This time it is the top 10 time travel TV shows. Um, now, one thing you should probably know about me, in addition to all the other things, is that I'm a big sci fi nut. And my two main types of favorites, or my two main subgenres of uh, wait, hold on, let me rephrase that. My two favorite types of my two favorite subgenres of sci-fi are time travel and parallel universes. So this is something that I am definitely going to enjoy. I've seen a few time travel TV shows, and there's been there should be more that I am familiar with. Only problem is I can't think of any off the top of my head. So right now the only one I can think of is Quantum Leap. There's Quantum Leap. There's what is it? 7 days. 7 days is another one. And wasn't Time Cop a TV show? I think they made a Time Cop TV show. The Van Damme movie? I think they made a TV show version of that. That's all I could think of at the moment. I can't really think of anything else. But I am definitely going to be upset. Oh, yeah. Are they going to talk about... I think I saw Jack from Lost. Yeah. So, they have Jack in the thumbnail from Lost. So I assume they might bring up Lost. Even though I wouldn't necessarily consider it a time travel TV show, there's a lot of they do time travel once or twice, but it wasn't like, I don't know if I'd call it a time travel TV show because time travel wasn't really the focus of it. And that's what makes it kind of difficult to figure out what TV shows there have been where the focus has been time travel. And is there anything else? Or at least time travel has been like some kind of major part of it. So, I mean, if they're going to bring that up, they might as well throw in like Star Trek. I mean, it's time travel's not a. Oh, wait a second. Actually, Enterprise. Now that I think about it, time travel was a pretty big part of Enterprise. Yeah, Enterprise could be on there. Still a better choice for Lost. Let's see. There was a whole arc. There was not arc, but there was actually a big giant arc in Star Trek Enterprise that centered around a series long arc that centered around the temporal Cold War that takes place like 600-700 years in their future. So you could say that has something to do with time travel. But yeah, I can't really think of anything else. Yeah, I would say Quantum Leap would be in there. Enterprise handled it pretty well. And yeah, I don't know anything else. I know of 7 Days. But I haven't seen it. I think there was like a Time Cop TV show. But enough with the, it's time to cut the jibber jabber and get to the show. So now here we go. Mojo's top 10 time travel TV shows. Bam. Oh, jeez, I keep screwing that up. Okay, let's try it one more time. Mojo's top 10 time travel TV shows.
Back, forth, and forth.
You shouldn't be here.
Oh, that's right! 11/22/63. I forgot about that. I haven't actually seen that yet.
WatchMojo.com And today we're counting down our picks
But,
for the top 10 time travel TV shows.
I read the book, and the book was really good. Oh, they're including anime. Ooh.
For this list, time travel must be central to the show's overall
Doctor
premise.
Who. Doctor
Just
Who's
apart
got to
from
be up
specific
there.
episodes or plot lines.
Oh yeah, Futurama. Futurama
For
would
that
count.
reason, we're excluding Futurama because that show only deals with time travel directly in a handful of episodes. And
Oh.
Fry taking an extremely long nap doesn't really qualify.
Yeah, that's true.
Number 10.
Heroes! Oh my god, how did I forget about Heroes? Yes!
With this superhero series, NBC stepped up their game and produced a primetime favorite featuring the likes of Ali Larter, Milo Ventimiglia, and breakout star Hayden Panettiere.
Yeah, nobody knew who Hayden Panettiere was before Heroes.
For 4 seasons, Heroes crept into the subconscious of both comic nerds and curious viewers, as each volume and new solar eclipse presented real people coming to grips with their supernatural powers.
I forgot. There was a lot of time travel in Heroes. Thus, Future Hero, if you ever saw my
You know, like Peter
top 10
Petrelli,
heroes.
who could absorb the abilities of others, or the time-traveling hero Nakamura.
Yeah! Hero!
Heroes wrapped up its initial run in 2010, forcing
Takezo!
Couch
That's
Potatoes to
Takezo!
venture
From
off
the
to
hero
a
from
brand
when I
new
talked about the
station
top 10
and a
heroes.
new world, until it returned as the miniseries Heroes Reborn in 2015.
Which had a little bit, yeah, that had some time travel.
What
in
I've
it.
always been doing. Working with Renatus to save the world.
Number 9. The Time Tunnel.
I've never heard of that. I would expect, now that I think about it, Doctor Who's probably going to be number
For
one.
the scientists behind Project TikTok, daily life revolves not around lab experiments, but around trying to get back to their present.
Never mind, Tony, they won't listen.
Oh, people, you'd think they'd understand.
You know the drill. The boss gets on your case about the Time Tunnel project and how much it's costing the government. And suddenly you're aboard the Titanic or fighting with Custer by way of static continuum.
What?
Ryan will be lucky to get out of it alive.
For just one season, actors James Darren and Robert Colbert helped mesmerize the minds of 60s-era sci-fi fanatics.
We have hit an iceberg, just as the two of you predicted. How could you have known?
Captain, the only explanation is the truth.
However, executives apparently didn't understand what the kids were into back then, or what good ratings were, and canceled it. Imagine that.
MEM, come in, MEM. The lunar depot has been destroyed. Beard is dead. Repeat, Beard is dead.
Number 8.
Terminator. Oh,
Sarah Connor
yes.
So,
That was a good series. It's sad that got canceled so soon.
How'd you know? Kidding? I celebrated your 30th with you.
Before Lena
The series
Headey entered the
begins
Game of
with them
Thrones,
time traveling.
and after Brian Austin Green left Melrose Place, there was a Fox series that tapped the narratives of 2 iconic films.
Like I said, there is no one here.
I'm going to look around. It's life or death.
Beginning in 1999, with Sarah and John Connor hoping to thwart attacks from a variety of post-apocalyptic baddies,
Oh,
the
I
Sarah
forgot that
Connor
he was a
Chronicles
Terminator.
jumps to the year 2007. Which
He was on
seems
Warehouse
like a
13.
horrible place to be given the creation of Skynet Terminators.
She doesn't know. She doesn't. I'm good now.
I mean, not Warehouse 13. He was from The Mentalist. That's what it
Unfortunately, the network threw down the longsword of doom on this show, regardless of those poor fans that wished for just one more season of time travel euphoria.
was. Right?
Where are we? Same where. Different when.
Yeah, different way.
Number 7.
Continuum. Holy crap, how did I forget about Continuum? I've seen all of Continuum.
One small issue.
Continuum was actually really good.
Focus the energy in the precise manner.
It had a very surprising ending, too.
Kira Cameron may look like your typical brunette bombshell cop, but she's not quite like the other Vancouver residents of 2012.
Yeah, if you haven't heard of it, Continuum is a Canadian show that has she was on Criminal Minds. That guy was Cupid in Charm. It has oh man,
Focusing on
what's
the
my girl's
prevention of
name?
futuristic terrorism, Rachel Nichols' character leaves the year 2077 with a bunch of evildoers from the organization Liberate.
Kira, are you in or not?
And with a complex system of time-traveling narratives,
there's
through
a
the
lot
series,
of time travel in
Continuum
Continuum.
proved to be a smart, sexy, and wildly entertaining ride, fueled by its hyper-chaotic, realism. Where are we?
Yeah.
What did
Yeah.
you guys do?
Time jump, a vortex. You were
What is
there,
my girl's
but
name?
now you
Oh my god.
Number 6. Life on Mars.
I was
Oh yeah.
Drive in a military vehicle.
I know the American version. Wait, why does that guy look familiar?
North American viewers may or may not remember the ill-fated ABC spin-off starring Jason O'Mara.
Yeah,
This notion that you're some kind of a time traveler notwithstanding.
I remember
However,
that.
their counterparts across the pond are surely familiar with the original BBC One series starring John Sim as a Manchester cop from 2006.
John
who's
Sim.
launched
Why does
back
that guy
into
look
the
sound?
free
Why
love
does he
era
look
of the
familiar?
1970s.
I used to come here. I bought my first
Is that the guy from Hitchhiker's Guide?
cars.
Of course, the rules and regulations changed a bit throughout time.
No,
and
no.
as Sam Tyler would
That's
discover,
no, that's somebody
reality
else.
wasn't quite what it seemed to be.
Gather round for the big waking up. Come on, gather round. Game on.
With its title inspired by a David Bowie song, this series
Oh.
had everybody questioning the
Is that what
actual
it's-
premise, but in a good way.
If I can save you, then who knows? Maybe I can save myself.
Forgot about Life on Mars.
Number 5.
Lost. Really?
Certainly
Really?
one of the most acclaimed dramas ever to appear on network television, and a binge watch session waiting to happen.
Really?
This
There
ABC
wasn't that
hit
much
was
time
co-created
travel
by the
involved.
Force Awakens director J.J. Abrams, and centered around a mysterious plane crash and a group of utterly confused survivors.
And time travel wasn't really central to the plot. Oh,
On the surface, the island narrative provides for a unique viewing experience. But once Jack and company come face to face with the others, well, it set the tone for one of the most hotly debated time travel stories of the 21st century.
Who are these others? Think they're left over from the Dharma folks?
I don't know, man.
My theory, they're aliens.
Oh, right. Did we forget to mention the time travel thing?
What do you know about time travel?
Surprise! There was way more to that plane crash thing than we have time to explain.
yeah, it took place outside of time, but I don't. That was something they just kind of threw in at the end. Like, I don't know if they would. If I would actually say that was. It was a full
Number
time
4,
travel thing.
Time Squad.
Please, Mr. Sandwich, you gotta let us help you.
How are we gonna do that?
We're gonna pay a visit to Larry.
Here's one for the Star Wars crowd, as this animated Cartoon Network series features the voice of Luke Skywalker himself.
Really?
Mark Hamill.
Hello, friends! How the nice French people, why, with the funny language and the talking.
However, on Time Squad, Larry 3000 isn't the most useful of the bunch. In fact, he's kind of a wimp.
It's horrible. I feel like I don't know who my real friends are anymore. Do they love me for
Wait,
me,
that is
or because
Mark
I'm the
Hamill.
creator of the Larry 3000?
With the task of maintaining about 100 million years of history so the future can remain the beautiful utopia it is.
Oh, listen.
So this is number 4.
Screw-ups in history.
Buck, Larry, and Otto hold down the Time Squad as the series presents viewers with some rather hysterical alternative scenarios from a sometimes distant, sometimes not so distant past.
Hey, you destroyed my robots. Oh, now I'm gonna have to invent something else.
Number 3, Steins Gate.
タイムマシンは
I
セ
didn't
ル
know
に
that
よ
was
って
a time
独占さ
travel
れていま
series.
す。一般人も企業も手に入れることはできません。
Based on the popular Japanese visual novel turned Xbox game, this
Oh!
aptly titled series focuses on time travel theories that could potentially lead to a third world war.
シュタインズゲート
Interesting.
は誰も知らない世界線。でも、おじさんの理論が正しければ、論文は焼け、タイムマシン開発競争は起きず、第三次世界大戦も起こらない。
But with the young protagonists receiving the most amazing of text messages and being transported through time by way of mobile microwaves.
おどうした
What?
消えてるバナナが
The characters of Steins Gate find ways to protect their own ideas while saving everybody in the process.
Doctor Who's gotta be number 1.
血のりの上で気を失って倒れているクリスティーナを発見すれば確定した過去は変わらないそれがオペレーションスクルドの意味するところ
Not a bad deal, eh? Well, life can be awfully difficult when you must trick your past self to survive.
まさか機関による記憶操作
I gotta check that out. I didn't know that was
こ
time
れこそ
travel.
がシュタインズゲートの選択
Number 2,
Quantum Leap!
Something wrong?
Nice.
Never paid me for a paper
Quality.
before. Well, it's about time I started.
It's the story of an ultra-brilliant, ultra-talented,
Yes, I was gonna get mad if that wasn't on this
ultra-charming
list.
physicist who gets trapped in a time travel loop, with no one but his best friend Al the hologram to help him.
Driven by an unknown force to change history for the better.
But you could learn all that from the credits. As one of the more cultish time travel shows in recent memory, and we mean that in the best possible way, this NBC series became must-watch TV due to its ability to tap into societal issues while keeping its sense of humor.
Yeah.
You didn't mention the Russians. They were behind the assassination.
That's one theory. Another one is that Oswald was just pretending to be with the KGB. He was really with the CIA or the FBI.
Wait.
Sure, Quantum Leap often showcased questionable scenarios that today's viewers would likely tear apart. But if you can put aside the technicalities, you'll fully appreciate the narrative of the Donald receiving financial tips from our guy, Dr. Sam Beckett.
Oh yeah, that's right. What's his name? Steve. What's his name? The late night guy. He actually made fun of that.
Honorable mentions.
Journeyman. Yo, Journeyman was awesome. Oh, it was sad that show didn't last for more than a season. It was a good show.
Number 1.
Doctor Who called it.
Not quite clear, is it?
Called it.
I can see by your face that you're not certain. You don't understand.
For decades, this British series has produced Time Lord after Time Lord, thanks to the ingenious concept of ongoing regeneration. Who are you?
Who am I? Ask
What's
him.
that guy's name? Steve. No.
You were expecting him, Madam Chairman.
And that Mojo
Stephen
is the
Colbert.
centerpiece
Stephen Colbert.
of a classic time travel series, which has allowed the show to renew itself with each new Doctor it casts, and with each time travel-based storyline it undertakes, whether that takes them to Rome, the Old West, or into outer space.
Oxygen.
Oh yeah, Matt Smith just did a Wild West episode. That was a couple of years ago, actually. It was 2 or 3 years ago.
The Doctor himself comes from a planet called Gallifrey, and let's just say he's got the most complex backstory of any time-traveling character in the history of television.
He's not one of them, is he?
Well, not so much one of them as one of us.
Oh, the 3 Doctors.
Oh, no.
He's a strange alien, sure, but despite all his transgressions, we just can't get enough of Doctor Who, and whatever the Cartmel master plan seems to be.
You gotta help me.
You only got yourself.
Oh my God.
Do you agree with our list? What's your favorite
Oh
time
my God,
travel
the Back
TV
to the
show?
Future TV show. I remember that. I remember that show.
For the train, ID!
For more mind-blowing top 10s published every day,
I remember the
be
Back
sure
to the Future
subscribe
cartoon.
to WatchMojo.com.
Come back to him. Find a way to get rid of whatever's holding you in there.
Cole Meany, that's who that guy was, yeah. I didn't know Cole Meany was in Doctor Who. That guy that was dressed like a Roman was Cole Meany, who some of you might remember from. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that last guy that the Doctor was talking to was Cole Meany, who most of you will probably remember from Star Trek: The Next Generation and or Deep Space Nine as O'Brien. What's his rank? It's not lieutenant. It's Chief O'Brien. Yeah, Chief O'Brien. The transporter officer and maintenance guy from Star Trek. I didn't know he was on Doctor Who. But then again, Doctor Who has a lot of people that you would never have expected to have been on there. Like Andrew Garfield's been on Doctor Who. Simon Pegg's been on Doctor Who. Who else? What's that girl's name? Carrie Mulligan was on Doctor Who. Sophie O'Gino something. I can't remember. But the lady from who played Don Cheadle's wife in Hotel Rwanda, she was in Doctor Who. If you've ever seen Arrow, John Barrowman got his start in not his start, but that's where he got famous. He got famous for being on Doctor Who. There's been a bunch. Christopher Eccleston was on Doctor. He was the Ninth Doctor, actually. But yeah, there's been a lot of British people who have been on Doctor Who at some point. I think Martin. No, I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, there's been a lot of people on Doctor Who. You probably throw a rock and hit a British celebrity, and they've been on Doctor Who at some point. Karen Gillan, of course, the chick. If you ever saw Guardians of the Galaxy, the girl that played the blue chick, she got famous from being on Doctor Who. But anyway, yeah, I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but yeah, the list for the most part I thought was okay. Oh my god, I just thought of one thing. I forgot what it was. I'm surprised there was no mention of 7 Days. Yeah, there wasn't even a mention. I don't think Lost should have even been on there because time travel wasn't. While time travel was in, while Lost did have time travel in it, time travel wasn't really a major part of the show. So, I mean, in its place, I actually would have put probably Enterprise. Enterprise actually had more to do with time travel than they did. Anything? Was there anything else? So let's see, 7 Days, and then I'm surprised they put in Journeyman. Wow, Journeyman. It was a good show. It just got canceled really quickly, unfortunately. But that was a really good show. I think that was on NBC, and that was about a guy who kept jumping through time. He would go to what was it? What was the parameters of his jumping? Yeah, he would jump through time uncontrollably, but it was like a short period of time. It was like within a few days or something like that. And I don't think, and he didn't have control over it. I just don't. The problem is I just don't remember exactly how it worked. I just remember that he had no control of it and that he would just jump through time randomly. Almost like Quantum Leap, but more unpredictably. Because Quantum Leap, while Sam didn't have control of where or when he would, while Sam didn't have control of where he would go, he had control of when he could leave. So whenever he completed his mission, he would leave, and he pretty much had a general idea of when that would happen. I definitely agree with the top two. Lost, I don't think should have been up there. Maybe an honorable mention. In this place, Enterprise, because Enterprise, while they only time travel like once or twice, I want to say. There is actually a big sub-arc that's about time travel. And that's what I was talking about earlier, which is the temporal Cold War. This series encompassing thing that they talk about all the time on Enterprise. The temporal Cold War. So, yeah, it was an okay list in general. But the only thing I'm going to disagree with is Lost. So yeah. So what did you guys think of the list? Are you guys familiar with a lot of these a lot of time travel shows? Is that what you're into? Do you like the time travel? Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, etc. Tell me what you thought. Write it down in the comments. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Alright, YouTube. So I just re-looked over the beginning, the intro of this episode of this video. So time travel has to be a central part of the entire premise of the show. I still say Lost does not belong in there. Time travel was a small part of it. It was not a part of the premise. It was just something that was kind of tacked on at the end. At the end, they just kind of turned into, oh well, now it has something to do with time travel because they were they were outside of time the entire time. Like no, I completely disagree with that. So Lost, yeah, totally does not belong there. I haven't actually had a chance to see the 11/22/63 show. I did, as I mentioned before, I did read the book. And the book is one of Stephen King's newest books. And if you're kind of like, if it's Stephen King, I don't know if I want to read it. It's not a horror story. It's not horror at all in the slightest. It's pure time travel. So in that case, yeah, absolutely. The book was actually really good. I haven't had a chance to watch the show yet. I will at some point. But just based on that, I would at least put the show somewhere on there because that's the entire premise of the show is time traveling. If you've never heard of 11/22/63, the title is a reference to the day that JFK got killed. So what happens is that there's this guy moves to somewhere in New England. I forget his specific town, but it's not Maine, surprisingly. Because Stephen King usually does stuff in Maine. I don't believe this was in Maine. Well, actually, it might have been. It might have been in Maine. But anyway, it's somewhere in New England. And so this guy moves to this place, and he finds out from this restaurant owner or something that the guy's storage closet goes to 1953 or something like that, and it goes to a specific date on that day every single time. So you can enter that closet, go to that specific town where that takes place, and like walk around the town, and he actually ends up finding out you can change the present. This is actually the past. This is not some fantasy constructions, because he actually ends up changing the present with a couple of experiments. He only does a little minor thing. So what he ends up doing is he decides that he is going to try to. By the way, this is a two-way trip, but if you can go, but if you go through the closet and then come back and then go back in it, you arrive to that same point. So if you did something before, and then you come back and then go back in, and it completely changes what your last change. So there's no coming back from this. So what he does is he decides he's going to try to live out a life in the 50s and stay there long enough so that he can try to stop JFK from being assassinated. And that's the entire premise of the story. He goes to that time and he lives in the past for like 12 years or something like that. And that's the entire plan. Is he's going to try and stop JFK from being assassinated. So the series is James Franco. I haven't had a chance to see it. If you please do go and watch it. I will at some point. But the book was good. If you haven't read the book is actually really good. So yeah, that definitely belonged on there way more than Lost did. Also, 7 Days Peter to Honor. I'm going to stop talking about 7 Days because I've never actually watched it. Yeah, so Quantum Leap is definitely was number 2. And I would say, Enterprise had an arc. Yeah. So I'm going to cancel out Enterprise because that had an arc. It wasn't the premise of the show, but it was an arc. And in that case, I will also say Lost doesn't belong up there. And maybe they should have had 11/22/63 instead. All right, so because that is actually about time travel. So yeah, So if you like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe, etc. And until next time, I will see you guys later.